Hello, everyone. I am Natasha, your host for today. If you are new here, I would like to tell you that we upload a new English learning video every day on our channel to help you improve your English faster. In today's episode, you will not only improve your English listening skills, but also your speaking skills. In this lesson, we're diving into one of the most exciting topics for every learner: how you can speak English like a native speaker. We will explore the rhythm, the flow, and the natural expressions that make English sound smooth and confident. Whether you're having a casual chat, expressing your ideas, or joining a professional conversation, speaking like a native is a goal many learners dream about. By the end of this video, you'll discover techniques, practice methods, and real-life examples that will help you sound more natural and fluent when you speak. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon if you want more helpful English learning episodes like this. So, relax. Get ready to practice with me, and let's begin our journey to speaking English like a native speaker. When we think about speaking English like a native speaker, the first thing that comes to mind is often the accent. Many learning Rs believe that they have to copy the exact sound of American or British speakers to be considered fluent. But the truth is, sounding native is not only about accent, it is about rhythm, natural expressions, intonation, and the confidence to use English in real-life situations. If you listen carefully to a native speaker, you'll notice that their speech flows like music. Some words are strong, others are soft, and there is a natural rise and fall in their sentences. This rhythm is what makes English sound alive. And the good news is, you can train your ear and your mouth to copy this rhythm step by step. Let's begin with something simple. Imagine you are greeting a friend in the morning. A native speaker would say, "Hey, how's it going?" Notice that they don't always say every word slowly and clearly. Instead, "How is it going?" becomes "How's it goin'?" The is disappears, and the final G in going often softens. This is called connected speech. It's not about being lazy, it's about efficiency and flow. And when you start to practice these small shortcuts, your English will immediately sound more natural. Now let's practice together. Repeat after me slowly first. How is it going? Now try again. A little faster. How's it going? And now one more time, just like a native speaker would say it. How's it going? Do you hear the difference? Do you feel how your mouth relaxes when you connect the words? This small adjustment is one of the secrets to sounding native. Another important part of speaking like a native is intonation. This means how your voice rises and falls while you speak. For example, when a native speaker asks a yes or no question like, "Are you ready?" the pitch of their voice goes up at the end. Try it with me. Are you ready? Now listen to the difference when I make a statement. I am ready. The voice falls naturally at the end. Intonati. On helps listeners know if you are asking a question, making a statement, or showing surprise, even before they understand every word. Let's do a practice exercise. I'll give you 2 sentences, and you repeat them with the correct intonation. First, do you like pizza? Make sure your voice rises at the end. Good. Now second, I like pizza. Let your voice fall gently at the end. Wonderful. With these small details, your English begins to sound more natural and expressive, just like a native speaker. Another common habit of native speakers is the use of contractions. Instead of saying, I am going to the store, most people say, I'm going to the store. Instead of, she is my friend, we say, she's my friend. And instead of, they are not here, we say, they're not here. Or even, they aren't here. Contractions make your English sound smoother and faster, and they are used in almost every casual conversation. Let's practice a few together. Repeat after me. I'm happy. She's late. We're ready. They're coming. Excellent. Now, let's put them in a little conversation. Listen carefully. I'm hungry. Really? I'm not. She's cooking dinner. We're going to eat soon. Do you hear how natural that sounds? This is exactly the way native speakers talk in everyday life. But sounding native is not only about words, it's also about culture and expressions. For example, when someone asks, how are you? Many learners answer with, I am fine, thank you. And while that is correct, it is not how most native speakers respond in casual situations. Instead, they might say, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Or even more casually, I'm doing okay. What about you? Learning these small cultural habits will help you sound more authentic. Let's try a role play. I'll ask you, how are you? And you answer with, I'm good, thanks. How about you? Ready? How are you? Good. Now one more time, even more naturally. I'm good, thanks. How about you? Perfect. Practicing with real-life examples like this is one of the fastest ways to start sounding native. Now, let's talk about the idea of filler words. Native speakers often use little words like well, you know, actually, or like to give themselves time to think while speaking. These words are not always necessary, but they are part of natural conversation. For example, instead of saying, I don't know, a native speaker might say, well, I don't really know, you know, or actually, I'm not sure. These fillers give the conversation a softer, more casual tone. Let's practice a few together. Repeat after me. Well, I think so. Actually, I don't know. You know, it's kind of difficult. Like, it's amazing. Great. Be careful not to use them too much, but when used naturally, they make your English sound more like everyday conversation. Another important step towards speaking like a native is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating exactly what they say, at the same time, like an echo. This exercise helps you train your ear and your mouth to move together. It improves your pronunciation, rhythm, and confidence. For example, you can watch a short clip of a native speaker. Pause after each line and then repeat exactly the same words with the same intonation. Over time, your speech will begin to copy the flow of native English automatically. Let's do a short shadowing practice right now. I'll say a line, and you repeat immediately after me. What are you doing later? Again, what are you doing later? Now try it one more time, but say it faster, just like me. What you doing later? Excellent. This simple practice will bring your English to a higher level of fluency. Now let's look at another secret of native speakers: reduction. Reduction means shortening or blending words when speaking quickly. For example, going to becomes gonna, want to becomes wanna, give me becomes gimme. These are not formal English, but they are extremely common in daily conversation. If you listen to native speakers, you will hear these reductions all the time. Let's practice them together. Repeat after me. I'm gonna watch a movie. Do you want to come with me? Can you give me a hand? I gotta go now. Did you notice how much smoother the sentences sound? These reductions help you speak faster and more naturally, just like native speakers. Before we close this first part, I want you to do a little self-practice exercise. Think of a simple conversation you might have with a friend, maybe about going out for dinner or talking about your day. Now try to use contractions, reductions, fillers, and natural intonation in that conversation. For example, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" "I'm gonna grab dinner with Sarah." "Oh, really? I want to come too." "Sure, give me a call later." Doesn't that sound so much more natural? The more you practice in this way, the more comfortable you will feel. And step by step, you will notice that your English begins to flow like a native speaker's. Remember, it is not about being perfect. It is about being natural, confident, and comfortable when you speak. When you begin your journey to speak like a native, it is important to understand that it takes both patience and daily practice. No one wakes up one day suddenly sounding fluent. It happens step by step, through repetition, listening, and active use of the language. The more you expose yourself to natural English, the more your brain absorbs not just vocabulary, but also rhythm, emotion, and cultural style. One of the most effective ways to practice is through listening. Listening carefully to native speakers will help you catch the little details in their speech that you might miss in written English. For example, when someone says, "Did you eat yet?" In casual speech, it often sounds like, "Jeet yet?" The words blend together so much that a learner might think it is a completely different phrase. But when you listen carefully, you'll begin to recognize these shortcuts. And once you recognize them, you can start to use them yourself. Let's practice a few examples of blended speech. Repeat after me slowly first. Did you eat yet? Now listen to how a native might say it. Jeet yet? Try saying it with me. Jeet yet? Another example is, what are you doing? Slowly, it sounds very clear, but quickly, it becomes, what you doing? Repeat with me. What you doing? One more example. Don't you know? When spoken fast, it turns into, don't ya know? Try it now. Don't ya know? These little changes are natural in everyday English, and practicing them will help you sound more authentic when you speak. Another step toward native-like fluency is learning natural responses. Many learners spend time memorizing long answers, but native speakers often respond with short, simple phrases that keep the conversation flowing. For instance, if someone asks, "Do you want to grab coffee later?" a native speaker might just say, "Sure, sounds good." Or, "Yeah, why not?" Instead of always giving formal answers, practice these quick, casual responses that make you sound more natural. Let's try a short practice. I'll ask a question. and you respond with a native-style phrase. Do you want to watch a movie tonight? Good. You can say, yeah, sounds good. Now another one. Are you ready to go? You might answer, almost, just a sec. Last one. Do you like this song? A natural answer could be, yeah, it's pretty good. Excellent. These short responses are part of daily life English, and the more you use them, the more natural you will sound. Pronunciation is also a key part of speaking like a native. It is not necessary to have a perfect American or British accent, but you should focus on clarity and the sounds that are most common in natural English. For example, the th sound in words like think and this is often difficult for learners. But native speakers use it all the time, and mastering it will make your English sound much closer to theirs. Let's practice together. Put your tongue gently between your teeth and blow air out for th. Repeat after me. Think, thank, 30, thunder, good. Now practice the softer version of th, where you let your tongue touch your teeth lightly, but use your voice. Repeat after me. This, that, those, these. Excellent. The more you practice these sounds, the more natural your English will become. Now let's focus on stress in English words. English is a stress-timed language, which means that some syllables are longer and stronger than others. For example, in the word banana, the stress is on the second syllable, banana. If you put the stress in the wrong place, it can sound strange, even if your pronunciation of the letters is correct. Let's practice some common words with stress. Repeat after me. Photograph. Now, photographer. Notice how the stress changes when the word becomes longer. Another example. Record as a noun, but record as a verb. Try it. I bought a new record. I want to record a song. Excellent. Paying attention to stress will make your English sound smoother and more like a native speaker's. Now let's move into everyday conversation practice. Imagine you are meeting a friend for lunch. The conversation might go like this. Hey, what's up? Not much, just got here. Cool, did you order yet? Not yet, I was waiting for you. Okay, let's get something to eat. Do you notice how short and natural the sentences are? This is how real conversations happen in daily life. They are not long, perfect textbook sentences. They are quick, friendly, and connected. Practicing dialogues like this will help you build the natural rhythm of English. Let's practice one together. I'll be person A, and you'll be person B. Ready? Hey, what's up? Good. You answer. Not much, just got here. Now I'll say, cool, did you order yet? And you reply, not yet, I was waiting for you. Perfect. One more time, a little faster. This back and forth rhythm is exactly how native speakers communicate. Another useful tip for sounding native is to learn common expressions and idioms. For example, instead of saying, I am very tired, you might say, I'm beat. Instead of saying, it's easy, you can say, it's a piece of cake. Instead of saying, I don't understand, you can say, I don't get it. These small changes make a big difference in how natural your English sounds. Let's do a quick practice with idioms. Repeat after me. I'm beat. It's a piece of cake. I don't get it. I'm all ears. Break a leg. Great. Now let's put them in short sentences. I studied all night. I'm beat. This homework is a piece of cake. Sorry, I don't get it. Can you explain again? I'm all ears. Tell me your idea. You have a test tomorrow? Break a leg. Excellent. The more idioms you learn and practice, the more fluent and natural you will sound in real conversations. Now let's take a moment for another shadowing practice. I'll say a short conversation, and you repeat after me line by line. Ready? Hey, how was your weekend? It was great. I went hiking. Really? That sounds fun. Yeah, it was a piece of cake. Do you see how the idiom fits naturally? Try shadowing the whole dialogue one more time with me, keeping the same rhythm and intonation. Excellent. Finally, for this section, I want you to practice speaking aloud for 1 full minute without stopping. Choose a simple topic, like what you did yesterday or what you plan to do tomorrow. Don't worry about making mistakes. Just focus on speaking smoothly, using contractions, reductions, and maybe even 1 or 2 idioms. The goal is to train your mouth and your mind to keep moving in English, just like a native speaker would. Remember, fluency is not about speaking perfectly. It is about speaking naturally, confidently, and without fear. The more you practice these steps, the more you will start to feel comfortable. And little by little, you will sound more and more like a native speaker. When people talk about speaking like a native, one of the biggest questions that comes up is confidence. Many learners already know enough vocabulary and grammar to express themselves, but they hesitate, pause too much, or second-guess their words. This hesitation makes the conversation sound less natural. Native speakers, even when they make small mistakes, keep speaking confidently and smoothly. That is why confidence is just as important as vocabulary or pronunciation. Let's think about a simple example. If you forget the exact word you want to use, you might stop and freeze. But a native speaker would usually find another way to explain it. For instance, if you can't remember the word umbrella, you might say, "That thing you use when it rains." And the listener will understand you immediately. This is called paraphrasing, and it is one of the most powerful tools for sounding fluent. Let's practice paraphrasing now. I'll give you a situation, and you try to explain it even if you don't know the exact word. Imagine you forget the word calculator. You could say, "It's the small machine we use to add numbers." Another one, maybe you forget the word fridge. You could say, "It's the cold box in the kitchen where we keep food." Do you see how this skill helps you keep the conversation flowing? Paraphrasing is something native speakers do all the time, and it makes you sound confident and natural. Another important factor is using natural timing and pauses. When you listen to native speakers, you'll notice they do not rush through every sentence. They pause naturally after a phrase or when they want to emphasize something. For example, listen to this. "I wanted to tell you that I finally got the job." The pause builds interest and adds natural flow. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I wanted to tell you that I finally got the job. Great. Adding small pauses makes your speech easier to follow and more authentic. Now let's move on to another element. Emphasis. Native speakers often stress certain words to show importance. For example, compare these two sentences. I didn't say he stole the money, and I didn't say he stole the money. In the first one, the stress is on I, meaning maybe someone else said it. In the second one, the stress is on stole, meaning maybe he borrowed it instead. The meaning changes depending on which word is emphasized. Let's practice emphasis together. Repeat after me. I never said she was wrong. Now try changing the stress. Say, I never said she was wrong. Now, I never said she was wrong. Finally, I never said she was wrong. Did you feel how the meaning shifted? This is a natural tool that native speakers use without thinking, and now you can use it too. In daily life, small talk is one of the most common ways to practice sounding native. Small talk means short, casual conversations about simple topics like the weather, plans, or how your day is going. Even though these conversations seem small, they are important for building connection. A native speaker might say, "It's really hot today, isn't it?" Or, "Did you catch the game last night?" Practicing small talk will help you sound more natural in everyday situations. Let's try a short small talk role play. I'll start. Hi, how's your day going? You answer, pretty good, thanks. How about you? Now I'll say, not bad, just busy with work. And you reply, yeah, I know the feeling. Great. That's a simple, natural exchange that could happen anywhere, and to makes you sound like a native speaker. Another tip is to pay attention to linking words and phrases. Native speakers use these to connect ideas smoothly. Words like so, actually, by the way, anyway, and well help move the conversation along naturally. For example, instead of jumping directly from one idea to another, you might say, by the way, did you hear about the new restaurant? Or, anyway, let's get back to what we were saying. These linking phrases give your English a smoother, more natural flow. Let's practice. Repeat after me. So, what do you think? Actually, I agree with you. By the way, I saw Sarah yesterday. Anyway, let's continue. Well, I'm not sure. Excellent. Try to use at least one linking word in your next English conversation. It will make you sound much closer to a native speaker. Now let's do another shadowing practice. I'll give you a short conversation with linking words, and you repeat with me. Hey, do you want to go out later? Well, I already have plans, but maybe tomorrow. Okay, sounds good. By the way, did you finish the report? Actually, I did. I'll send it tonight. Good. Shadow it one more time, keeping the rhythm and the natural flow. Perfect. Another key part of speaking like a native is pronunciation of connected sounds. In English, words often join together when spoken quickly. For example, instead of want to, we hear wanna. Instead of going to, we hear gonna. Instead of let me, we hear lemme. These connected sounds are part of natural, casual English. Let's practice them again in sentences. Repeat after me. I want to go outside. She's gonna call me later. Let me know if you need help. Gotta go now. See you later. Excellent. These reductions are very common in spoken English, and practicing them will help you blend into real conversations more easily. Now, let's practice fluency with a longer exercise. I'll give you a short daily routine in natural English, and you try to repeat it after me, copying the rhythm and flow. Ready? I'm gonna wake up early tomorrow, grab some coffee, and then head to work. After that, I'm meeting a friend for lunch, and later, I want to watch a movie at home. Try saying it again, smoothly, without stopping. Excellent. Practicing longer sentences like this trains your brain to think in English without translating. Finally, we have a self-practice challenge. Choose one short topic, like my favorite food or my weekend plans, and talk about it for 1 minute. Use contractions, reductions, linking words, and natural intonation. Even if no one is listening, this practice will make your mouth comfortable with the rhythm of English. Over time, you will notice that you sound more and more like a native speaker. Remember, sounding native is not about losing your identity or your accent completely. It is about adding the natural flow, confidence, and rhythm of English to the way you speak. And with consistent practice, you will get closer every day. One of the easiest ways to practice sounding like a native speaker is to focus on everyday conversations that you might actually have in real life. Let's imagine you're at a cafe ordering coffee. A textbook version might sound like this. Hello, I would like to order a coffee, please. Could you give me a small latte with milk? While this is correct, it doesn't sound very natural. A native speaker might simply say, Hi, can I get a small latte, please? Or, Yeah, I'll have a latte, thanks. Notice the difference. The second version is shorter, friendlier, and flows more smoothly. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. Can I get a small latte, please? Now try. I'll have a latte, thanks. Excellent. Practicing these natural phrases will help you in real-life situations, and you'll feel more confident in ordering, shopping, or making small requests. Let's do another example. Imagine you're shopping for clothes. A formal version might be, Excuse me, I want to try this shirt. Can you give me a different size? But a native speaker would likely say, Hi, can I try this in a medium? Or, Do you have this in a larger size? Short, clear, and natural. Repeat after me. Can I try this in a medium? Do you have this in a larger size? Great. Practicing with real situations like shopping or ordering food is one of the best ways to train your English to sound more like a native speaker's. Another important thing to notice about native speakers is that they often use tag questions to keep the conversation soft and friendly. A tag question is when you make a statement and then add a small question at the end, like, Isn't it? Or, Don't you? For example, It's a nice day, isn't it? Or, You like pizza, don't you? These little tags make the conversation more interactive and natural. Let's practice tag questions. Repeat after me. It's cold today, isn't it? You're tired, aren't you? She's your friend, isn't she? They're coming, aren't they? Excellent. Tag questions are easy to learn, but they give your English a friendly conversational tone that feels much more natural. Now let's talk about politeness. Native speakers often use polite expressions in casual ways. For example, instead of just saying, Give me that, which sounds too direct, they say, Could you pass me that? Or, Would you mind helping me? These polite forms make your English softer and friendlier, which is exactly how natives usually speak. Let's practice a few. Repeat after me. Could you help me with this? Would you mind opening the window? Can you pass me the salt? Could I borrow your pen? Wonderful. Adding these polite expressions to your daily English will make you sound not only natural, but also respectful, just like a native speaker. Now, let's do a short role play together. I'll be your friend at dinner, and you practice responding naturally. Ready? Hey, can you pass me the bread? Good. You answer, sure, here you go. Now I'll say, do you want some more water? You answer, yes, please, thanks a lot. Perfect. This is exactly how simple daily conversations sound when you use natural English. Another thing that makes native speakers sound different is the use of phrasal verbs. Instead of using long, formal verbs, natives often use short phrasal verbs like pick up, hang out, run into, or find out. For example, instead of saying, I will meet my friend by accident, a native would say, I ran into my friend. Instead of, I will relax with my family, they might say, I'll hang out with my family. These phrasal verbs are everywhere in spoken English, and learning them will help you sound much closer to a native speaker. Let's practice a few phrasal verbs together. Repeat after me. I'll pick you up at 7. Let's hang out this weekend. I ran into my teacher yesterday. I need to find out what time the movie starts. Excellent. Now let's put them in a short conversation. Hey, can you pick me up later? Sure, what time? Let's hang out after dinner. Sounds good. By the way, I ran into Sarah today. Oh, really? What did you find out? Perfect. These are exactly the kinds of exchanges that make your English sound natural. Now let's take a closer look at listening practice, because listening is directly connected to speaking like a native. The more you listen, the more your brain gets used to the natural flow of English. You can practice by listening to TV shows, movies, podcasts, or even short YouTube clips. Pay attention not just to the words, but to the rhythm, the speed, and the way the speakers connect their sentences. Let's do another shadowing practice now. Repeat immediately after me. What time are you coming over? Again. What time are you coming over? Now faster. What time you coming over? Good. Another one. Do you want to go for a walk? Again. Do you want to go for a walk? Faster. Do you want to go for a walk? Excellent. This kind of shadowing will make your speech sound more authentic. Finally, let's finish this section with a longer fluency practice. I'll give you a paragraph that sounds like everyday native English, and you repeat it after me. Ready? So yesterday, I ran into an old friend downtown. We hadn't seen each other in years, so we decided to grab a coffee. We hung out for about an hour, just catching up on life. It was really nice, and I found out she's moving back to the city. Now repeat it again, smoothly and naturally. Excellent. Practicing longer chunks of speech like this will train your brain to think and sound like a native speaker, step by step. Remember, it's not about memorizing every phrase. It's about building habits, using contractions, reductions, phrasal verbs, tag questions, and polite expressions naturally. Each of these small details adds up, and together, they create the flow of native English. When you hear native speakers talking, you might notice that their English feels casual, relaxed, and sometimes even playful. This is because they don't just use formal words and grammar, they add personality into their speech. They use jokes, little comments, and playful language to make conversations more interesting. If you want to sound like a native speaker, it's important to add some of this natural personality into your English too. For example, instead of saying, "Yes, I agree with you," a native speaker might say, "Yeah, totally." Instead of saying, "I do not know," they might simply say, "I don't know." Or instead of, "That is very funny." They could say, "That's hilarious." These small changes make your English sound alive and real, not like something you memorized from a textbook. Let's practice a few of these casual responses. Repeat after me. Yeah, totally. I don't know. That's hilarious. No way. You gotta be kidding me. Excellent. Now, let's put them into a short conversation. Did you hear what happened yesterday? No way. What happened? Sarah dropped her phone in the pool. You gotta be kidding me. That's hilarious. Yeah, totally. She was so embarrassed. Do you see how this conversation feels casual and fun? That is the style you should practice when aiming to sound more like a native speaker. Another important thing to practice is giving natural reactions. In many cultures, learners respond only with full sentences, but native speakers often use short reactions like, "Really? Wow. Oh no. That's great." Or, "That's too bad." These quick reactions keep the conversation flowing and show emotions naturally. Let's try some reaction practice together. Repeat after me. Really? Wow. Oh no. That's great. That's too bad. Amazing. Excellent. Now imagine I tell you, I just got a new job. You might respond, "That's great." If I say, "I lost my wallet yesterday," you could say, "Oh no, that's too bad." And if I say, "I saw the funniest movie last night," you could reply, "Wow, really? That sounds fun." Practicing these natural reactions will help you sound more native in real conversations. Let's shift to another area that native speakers use all the time: storytelling. Native speakers often tell short stories about their day, their experiences, or funny things that happened. When they tell stories, they don't use perfect grammar in every sentence. Instead, they focus on keeping the story moving and interesting. They add small details, emotions, and reactions. Let's practice a simple story together. Listen first. So yesterday I was on the bus, and this little kid started singing really loudly. Everyone looked at him, and he just kept singing like he was on stage. It was hilarious, and it made my whole day. Now, repeat it with me, slowly. So, yesterday I was on the bus, and this little kid started singing really loudly. Everyone looked at him, and he just kept singing like he was on stage. It was hilarious, and it made my whole day. Good. This is the kind of storytelling rhythm that makes your English sound like a native speaker's. Now, let's create a little exercise for you. Think of something funny or interesting that happened to you recently. It could be something small, like spilling your coffee, running into an old friend, or seeing something surprising on the street. Now, practice telling that story in English with simple, short sentences and natural reactions. Don't worry about being perfect. Just focus on sounding natural and confident. Another tool native speakers use all the time is emphasis with little words like so, really, and super. Instead of saying, "I am tired," they might say, "I'm so tired." Or instead of, "It's hot today," they could say, "It's really hot today." These small additions give emotion to your speech and make you sound more natural. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I'm so hungry. It's really cold. That movie was super funny. I'm so excited. Excellent. Now let's use them in a quick conversation. Are you hungry? Yeah, I'm so hungry I could eat anything. Do you like the movie? Yeah, it was super funny. I really enjoyed it. Perfect. These small emphasis words add a lot of life to your English. Now let's talk about rhythm and stress again, but in full sentences. Native speakers don't give equal time to every word. Some words are stressed and some are weak. And for example, listen, I want to go to the store. The stress is on want and store. The words to and the are much softer. This creates the rhythm of English. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I want to go to the store. Now say it again, but make want and store stronger. Excellent. Another one. She needs to finish the report. Stress needs and report. And let the small words fall quietly. Good. This is exactly what makes your English sound like native speech. To practice rhythm even more, let's do a shadowing exercise with a paragraph. Listen. I was walking home from work, and I saw this amazing sunset. The sky was so bright, and the colors were incredible. I stopped for a moment just to look at it, because it was really beautiful. Now, repeat after me slowly, and again,